In this video, I want to talk about search engine optimization, or SEO. At the time of this recording, I'm working with a few businesses that have asked me on how to implement a successful SEO strategy. So I figure I share my past 30 years of experience on this subject matter. And if you also have experience on the matter, please share in the comments below. So let's get started. As many of you know, SEO is the practice of improving the quality and quantity of search engine traffic to your website without the use of paid advertising. So in short, what can you do to your website so that it appears on page 1 of organic search engine results? To clarify what I mean, take a look at the screenshot that I took of Google search. If you type Souvenir Canada flag, you can see the search results. The red box up here are the paid or sponsored search results and are not related to SEO. In fact, you normally see a label here that says sponsored. This green section down here are for organic search results or natural search results, and these are related to SEO. SEO is the process of optimizing your website so that your web pages appear in the organic search results in the green section down here. So that's what SEO is. I'm making this video because over the past few decades, many businesses have asked me how to improve their SEO. In fact, take a look at this phone message I received a few days ago. I'll just quickly read it out. John, can you help us? We are not getting any organic sales leads from Google. We don't want to continue with our current web developers because they did not implement SEO properly for our website. We never seem to appear in the organic search results. So I've had to repeat my answer to questions like these many times, so I figure I just make this video, and next time this question comes up again, I'll just share this video. So let's get right into it. To do SEO well, you need to know what matters the most. So what does matter the most? What is the biggest contributing factor to SEO success? Well, based on my 30 years of experience, the answer is your content matters the most. Content meaning things administered by your marketing team. From what I can tell, your content attributes for roughly 90% of your SEO success. A small fraction of your SEO success is attributed to the technical things done by developers. So I'm a developer and I've spent a lot of time on this 10%. And all I learned is that as long as we do the bare minimum to make sure this website is usable, anything else we do as developers hardly has any effect on SEO success. Improving the technicals can help with user experience and increase retention, but that's a completely different topic and it's not related to what search engines look for. The technicals is just icing on the cake, but you need the cake to begin with. If this were the 1990s or early 2000s, maybe the technical would have played a bigger role and attribute for 50% of SEO success, because back then in the 1990s, you could spew millions of keywords on your website using white text on white background, or spew your website URL on countless link farms and spam sites to try to fool search engine algorithms into thinking your website is popular and relevant to people. But since the late 2000s, search engine algorithms have matured to focus primarily on how popular your content is. So if you want to do SEO well, focus on this 90% over here, which is your content. Let me give a brief explanation of each of these bullet points before elaborating in more detail. Let's start with the 3 bullet points under content. First, your marketing team must decide which keywords your potential customers are likely to search for in search engines. You have to strategically pick your keywords because it will count for about 15% of your overall SEO success. Second, your marketing team must produce content that your audience finds valuable. Your content should be rich with the keywords that you've selected in the previous step because good content accounts for roughly 25% of your overall SEO success. And finally, your audience on the internet must promote and share your content. Your customers should be sharing your website in public forums or social media sites. Partnering organizations should be citing your material, and major industry publications should be referencing your website. Content sharing among your audience accounts for 50% or more of your SEO success. The only way search engines will know if your content is valuable and worth promoting is based on how popular your content is on the internet. And they do this by evaluating the quantity and quality of links that come back to your website. So it's all about your content. Search engines promote websites that are actively promoted by credible authorities. You know what? I'm going to be repeating this statement many times throughout this video, but I'll say it again. Search engines promote websites that are actively promoted by credible authorities. So before we go into more detail on how to incentivize credible authorities to promote your website, let's talk about the final 10% of SEO effort, which is related to what developers have to do. First is 6% of SEO success is related to having title tags, meta tags, and H1 tags on your webpage, which pretty much everyone does. I've hardly seen situations where this is not done. If it's not done, it's usually very easy to address. For most business websites, it only takes a few minutes to a few days to remedy this kind of situation. Next, 4% of your SEO success is related to all the other technical things like semantic HTML tags, alt attributes, getting rid of 404s, improving site speed, and a whole bunch of other technical things which I won't get into here because it only makes up for 4% and I'm trying to keep this video short. So really, as a developer, just get your title tag, meta tag, H1 tags in there. And then just make sure the site isn't completely broken or completely unusable. Because what matters the most for SEO success is your website content. Because if your audience doesn't like your content, then your audience will not promote your content. If your audience does not promote your content, search engines will not promote your content. And as I've mentioned before, search engines only promote websites that are actively promoted by credible authorities. Let me show you a demonstration of something else. I used SEOsitecheckup.com to scan the website of a business that I have to help. And I could have used another SEO scanning tool because they're all pretty much the same. SEO scanning tools can only evaluate the technical aspects of SEO on your website. Technical aspects as in things like HTML tags, URL structures, site maps, website loading speed, basically this 10% over here. SEO scanners have no way of evaluating the subject matter of your website, which is this 90% over here. Anyway, I talked with my client and they let me scan their website for this presentation, provided I changed some of the content to keep them anonymous. And as you can tell, according to this report, this site's SEO isn't all that great. It gets a grade of less than 60%. I inherited this project from another development firm that's no longer working on this project. And according to this report, the original developers did not do a good job implementing the SEO. However, this business gets a lot of organic leads from search engines, and they are very happy with the volume of sales that they are doing through organic search and SEO. And because of this, this business have not allocated any more budget for my team to upgrade the technical aspects of their SEO. Because in this case, spending more money on the technical aspects of SEO would yield diminishing returns. It makes more sense for the business to divert their marketing spend to other initiatives that have greater return on capital. Contrast this with the next example. I have a young friend who is learning to be a project manager, and he made a website where he posted his resume. He let me scan the site with SEOsitecheckup.com for this presentation, provided I edit out the information to keep him anonymous. You can see this site scores very highly with SEO. However, my friend hardly gets any search engine traffic to his website. Not many people go to this website. So the question is why? Why would search engines promote a website with a bad technical SEO over a website with good technical SEO? Well, to answer this question, you have to understand how SEO algorithms work. So let's talk about how the SEO algorithm works. The SEO algorithm is extremely simple to understand. SEO algorithms strive to be like a human. This means if you want to do well with SEO, you need to think like a human. You have to understand how humans behave. And how do humans behave? Well, most humans will not do something until other humans do it first. Most people do not want to be guinea pigs. Most people are not early adopters of something new. Most humans wait for other humans to try something first before they try it themselves. The SEO algorithm works exactly the same way. Search engines are like the majority of humans. Search engines will not promote your website until others promote it first. So if we go back to my demonstration, this website has bad SEO, but it has extremely valuable content So customers are actively recommending it, partnering organizations are actively citing it, and industry media publications are actively referencing it. Whereas this website here, my friend is learning to be a PM. He doesn't know anyone, he hasn't written anything that makes him stand out in the crowd, so no one cares to visit his website. As such, search engines will not promote my friend's website since no one else is promoting it. I've seen outcomes like this so many times. In fact, let me share a story from my own projects. The first time I really appreciated how the SEO algorithm works was about 15 years ago. Back then, I made a website called flowerville.ca that lists some basic details of flower stores in Toronto, Canada. I did everything I could to make the website technically sound from an SEO perspective. I think SEO scanners would have given my site a score of greater than 90%. But my website hardly got any traffic. It got less than 5 page views per day because no one cared about the content on my website. Most people went to my competitor's website because my competitors had more useful information about flower stores. Contrast this with another project that I was working on around the same time. 15 years ago, I was also dabbling with Yahoo's financial API. At the time, Yahoo's financial API was open to the public, but it was also very beta-ish with no documentation. Software developers, engineers, and equities analysts were all scratching their head over how to effectively extract financial data out of Yahoo's platform. I spent a few days working with the API, and I eventually figured out a few things. I decided to document the API specifications so that I could remember things, but also so that I can share with my colleagues. I made a very crude HTML web page, and I gave it the title Yahoo Financial API Documentation. The HTML page was very poorly constructed. I used some old WYSIWYG editor that I had on hand, which meant that the web page was made up mostly of paragraph tags, and it was just using inline CSS and old HTML4 properties to style the text. If I had scanned my web page with an SEO scanner, I probably would have gotten an SEO score close to 0%. But that didn't matter because I was only documenting things for myself and to share with my colleagues. I uploaded my webpage to a web server just to make it easier for my colleagues to access. And then for some reason, Google found my webpage. And within a few weeks, I was getting thousands of visitors per day to my page from Google search engine, from coding forums, from blogs, and from stackoverflow.com. I was getting all this organic traffic despite the fact that I did not put any effort into the technical aspects of SEO for my webpage. So what did I learn from the two websites? I learned that content matters the most. When search engines realized that my financial API documentation was popular among other humans on the internet, the search engine decided to show it on page 1 of organic search results anytime someone typed Yahoo Financial API Documentation. As for flowerville.ca, because no one was talking about it and no one was sharing it, search engines never showed Flowerville in the organic search results unless you typed exactly flowerville.ca into the search box. Over the past many decades, I've seen this over and over again. I have so many stories that reinforce the same lesson. Content completely trumps the technical details when it comes to SEO success. Focus on your content because that's what matters the most. If you still don't believe me, I encourage you to try your own experiment. Make a webpage where you write a 50-word paragraph using completely random, nonsensical words that don't talk about anything. It will be a completely useless website that no one will want to visit. Then, go through the whole 9 yards to make your website as technically sound as possible from an SEO perspective. Use semantic HTML, put in title tags, put in meta tags, make sure your page loads quickly, and all those other SEO technical details. Then, put your useless web page on the internet. I am quite certain that after 12 months, you would not have received much organic search traffic because no one found your website useful. If no one finds your website useful, no one will promote your website. If no one promotes your website, then search engines will not promote your website either. Contrast this with the next experiment. In this next experiment, you will make a webpage with the title, Answer Math Question to Win an iPad. On the webpage, print a math question and ask people to submit their answers to your email address to win an iPad. Then, for anyone who emails you the correct answer, you actually send them an iPad. don't bother trying to do anything technical with the SEO. In fact, try to degrade the SEO performance of your website by creating broken links, provide fictitious sitemaps, and write some backend script that forces your page to take more than 10 seconds to load. Intentionally create a poor user experience. Then, share your website link on a few discussion forums. I'm pretty sure that if you keep this webpage up for a year and you constantly give away a free iPad every time someone answers your question correctly, your website will be extremely popular. A lot of people will promote your website. And because a lot of people will promote your website, search engines will also promote your website to anyone who types in the terms math free iPad. Search engines will continue to promote your website despite the fact that you deliberately sabotage the technical aspects of your SEO. This should convince you that content trumps technical details, and that search engines promote websites that are actively promoted by credible authorities. So if your SEO is performing poorly, most of the time it's because people are not promoting your website. You can begin investigation into your poor SEO performance by asking whether any of these groups are actively promoting your content. Are your colleagues and employees sharing your organization's content? Are partnering organizations and industry publications referencing your content? Is your content being discussed on social media? And is anyone else in general sharing the content? If the answer is no, then don't expect search engines to promote your website. If your content is not actively distributed on the internet, search engines will deem your content irrelevant. So with all that said, you can see now that implementing a good content strategy is the key to SEO success. That means that the way to generate organic search leads is to focus on producing content that your audience wants. But then, how do you know what your audience wants? Well, to know what your audience wants, you need to consult your marketing and sales team. Your marketing and sales team will have detailed insight into your customers' demographics, psychology, and behaviors. Your marketing and sales team will have customer data from past interactions, from A/B testing of various marketing initiatives, from existing sales discussions, from account management duties, from CRM activities, and from many other marketing and sales related activities. Your marketing and sales team will likely have key performance metrics around a wide range of engagements with prospects and customers. With a bit of qualitative and quantitative analysis, you will have a much clearer picture of what your customers want and what content they find the most engaging. Talking about the one-on-one basics of marketing is beyond the scope of this video, so just email me and I'll figure out what resources is most relevant to your marketing challenges. But once you've gained sufficient insight into your customer, that's when you're ready to work on SEO. Using the knowledge from your marketing team, you need to select keywords that your customers are likely to use. There are entire strategies and tactics around keyword selection that are also beyond the scope of this video. But an important thing to consider is the notion of branded keywords versus generic keywords versus long-tail keywords. If you focus on branded keywords like the name of your company or other trademark terms, you will attract customers who already know your brand, which doesn't help with acquiring net new customers. You also have to be careful not to use keywords that are too broad or too generic. If you use broad or generic keywords, you'll be competing against industry leaders, which boils down to who has the bigger marketing budget. For example, if you try to optimize for a generic keyword like virtual machine, there are many other large tech companies that are all producing content for the keyword virtual machine and other systems administration topics, which then makes it very difficult for you to stand out in the crowd. More often than not, you want to optimize for long-tail keywords. If you choose long-tail keywords like Terraform providers for Proxmox, it will be more niche and you will bypass a lot of noise around systems administration topics, which then lets you target specific customers with specific needs, and that also increases the likelihood of a sales conversion. A common mistake that small teams make is having a Word document with several pages of keywords that they are trying to optimize for. Too many keywords means that your team lacks focus, and it will pose a problem in the second step, which is to produce content that your customer actually wants. Producing quality content takes a lot of time and effort. If you have a lot of keywords, then you need exponentially more time and effort to produce relevant content. You need to stay focused with your keywords so that you can stay focused on the content that you need to create. And finally, to know if your content is valuable or relevant, you need to observe whether people are sharing your content or backlinking to it. If people are not sharing your content and industry-leading publications are not referencing it, then you know your content is not useful to your audience. Then you need to repeat steps A and B. So as you can tell, developing content that your audience finds valuable is a time-consuming and ongoing experiment. You have to constantly stay engaged with your audience to understand what they want from your organization. As you fine-tune your content strategy to the specific needs of your audience will increase their support for your brand by promoting your content. When sufficient people are promoting your website's content, that's when search engines will actively promote your website in organic search results. Search engines will actively promote your website if other credible authorities promote it first. With all that said, let me conclude this video by summarizing a few points. First, you need to remember that search engines promote content that are promoted by other credible authorities. This means you need to focus on producing content that your audience wants. If your audience finds your content valuable, they will promote it. If your audience promotes your content, so too will search engines. This means you need to focus on your marketing and content strategy because it accounts for 90% of your SEO success. Your content and marketing strategy should be informed by data from past customer engagements. And finally, SEO is a time-consuming and ongoing experiment. If done well, you can aim for results after 9 or 12 months. If you have any further questions, just leave a comment in the video below.